We will call this meeting to order, and this is the informational meeting for Tuesday, August 27th. And I'd like to welcome all of our guests here. It's so nice to look out in the audience and see such nice-looking girls. Thank you. And guys. Sorry, guys. I always get in trouble. Well, anyway, it's my understanding at this point in time, we usually have a staff report, but I don't believe our staff has too much to talk about at this time. And I would like to thank Terry for coming and making changes to the schedule, and thank you to the counselors for being here. Terry had a death in the family and needs to be gone next week when she was planning on making this presentation. So we'd like to welcome you, Terry. Terry Schmidt with the CVB.
Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and I appreciate you allowing me to come today. I had an aunt who has been fighting cancer for some time and passed away a little sooner than we expected. So the funeral is Tuesday, and that's one of those things that you just don't miss. So thank you for allowing me to be here. I'm going to talk a little bit about the bid budget and talk with you about the budget. Do you have your copies? Do you have the summaries?
No.
No. Yeah. Do I have the summaries?
Yeah.
I do have the summaries.
We do have, they are posted to SIRE, but we may not have them in front of us. Thank you, Terry.
Sure. Okay, what is before you is the proposed budget for 2013-2014, and as you'll recall, you put into being the bid $2 per room per night sold in 2011. It became effective January 1 of 2011. In order for the CVB to further sell Sioux Falls as a destination for visitors. What we are proposing for next year is before you, and I'll just briefly go through this. First of all, you'll see at the top the general CVB revenue, bid revenue. We have budgeted 1.5 in the past, and we are conservatively going to go ahead and say 1.6 for next year. It might be a little over that. We don't know, you know, you just never know if there's a crisis and we end up going under, or if things are, you know, if we have another good year, then we'll be at 1.6. So again, I know that's maybe a little conservative, but I'd rather be conservative than go over the top. Under administration, you'll see in the bid that we have 10.8 for continuing industry education. That is primarily for sales training. We have not done any of that for about 5 years. And I think it's very important to have the sales team out in the workforce and the sales force being trained by people who do this at even a higher level than what we do. And so I think that was an important thing to plug in. You'll also see that the bid allocation for this next year, $737,107 under administration. Approximately 75% of the administration is in the bid side. Because it takes so many of us to do what it is we do in sales and marketing, our accountant felt that it was best to put 75% over on that side. To be very honest with you, when it comes down at the end of the day, it's the room tax all the way around that's in the big bucket. So, you know, it was just a recommendation that they made to us, so we went ahead and went with that at the 75% on the administrative side for the bid allocation. Then you'll go down to sales development advertising. You'll see digital strategy. I don't think I have to tell any of you that, you know, the traditional advertising in a magazine or in a book isn't the only way to do it anymore. The web, the digital is the way you have to go for advertising anymore. And we began that when you allowed us to have the bid back in 2012 as our first year. And in next year, what we're proposing is that we actually double that. And that includes everything under that digital strategy of 172,780. Everything from targeting the potential visitors to the measurement to the adjustment. How will we do that? In ways, we're developing a convention app that will be used by our guests here. It will be customized for them so that they can experience Sioux Falls in a better way. Let's say, for example, that the City Councils of America was going to have their convention in Sioux Falls. We would be able to customize that app so that you all could look on your phone and find maps. You could find your agenda for your conference. You could find where to go to get the best burger. You could find, the weather, all kinds of different things on this app that would be, again, customized for you to make your stay easier and more hospitable. We also have domain name fees. We have to pay those to pay for our website name. E-newsletter templates. We send out newsletters to meeting planners and bus tour planners. So that's the templates that we have to use for those. We have viewer fees, management of the website. I believe you all know that we work with ClickRain, and that amount of money includes everything from management and daily monitoring of our online campaigns to insights in analytics and performance, the banner ad creation, developing the developer coding for updates of the website and the mobile site, and our landing page development and HTML writing for special projects. So that's just something that you have to do when you have a website. To the degree of ours, we have to have someone to handle it and to make sure it's always operating and that we're able to track it. A mobile site, again, that's the optimizing the mobile site. The media, pay-per-click, that's a large portion of this budget, $76,000, and those are media purchases online. TripAdvisor, Vocus, which is it's a manner in which we can connect to journalists across all mediums and the online bloggers with the ability to monitor the news and everything that's being said about Sioux Falls, and also reach out to influencers to perhaps get more stories or correct something maybe if it's not quite accurate either, and then to also measure and share the results of those articles or those stories that are being online. Marketing automation at $13,000. That's tracking codes in social medias, email, and web pages to track the behavior of people. Are they coming back? Are they coming back to the website for more information? What is that return? So that we can track to see what their behavior is. And then we have a $5,000 miscellaneous in that just in case something comes up. So that's a digital strategy. Then you can go right on down. You can see the miscellaneous event ads. Those are local events that take place here in Sioux Falls. Newspapers, sports pubs, sports publications, trade publications, miscellaneous new opportunities. And that in advertising then is $307,000 of the budget. Going down, printing. Yeah, Kenny. Lower it? Is that better? Sure. I've never had anybody tell me they couldn't hear my loud voice before, so that's a first. Thanks, Kenny. Under bidding, we have ASA, which is a national softball tournament that we're going after. You can see bid commitments for $72,000. Those are commitments that we have made this year for next year in order to get new business here, which is exactly the purpose of the bid. One of them is the Health Professionals Network. They're bringing their convention here, the National Indian and Native American Employee and Training Conference, and of course Small Market Meetings, which is that conference that, I think it's a year and a half ago now, we were able to bid on and bring to Sioux Falls this October the 100 meeting planners. And that is about $50,000 for this year in this year's budget. So that's what that is comprised of. Looking into the future then, bid requirements, $25,000. If we're working with a group this year and they need busing, from a variety of hotels. We can say, well, we can put up $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever the amount is to ensure that we will take care of them when they're in Sioux Falls, and we'll provide that busing. Again, something we couldn't have done without the bid. And then you go on down to meeting planner hostings, FAMs, target market luncheons. We see a potential meeting planner or meeting planners that have some interest in Sioux Falls, but they've never been here. This is a way for us to entice them to come here. Come to Sioux Falls. Once we know they're serious and that their business would actually fit into our facilities, we will invite them here, pay their way, and then we will do a site visit, show them the city. And that's what is involved in that line. And then the Bid Opportunity Fund for $50,000. That is a fund that was requested that we have set aside if something comes up totally out of the blue that we didn't expect at all, above and beyond perhaps that $25,000 in bidding. That's an opportunity fund for us to be able to go to and say, okay, maybe it's 30 grand, hypothetically, or 10 grand. This is something above and beyond what's in that line item above that we could go to. This line item, even though it is $50,000, still must have bid board approval, just like any other line item in this budget. Under sales development travel, we have $128,000, and that includes upcoming bid trips, professional conferences, again, site visits and blitzes, like when we go to Washington, D.C. or to Chicago and we meet with meeting planners, we go out and sell Sioux Falls. That all falls into that category, plus all of the trade and travel shows that we go to annually. And then under tourism, we have the travel publications, and then under new opportunities, you see $110,000 in income, and you see $225,000 in the regular expense area. We have partnered with the South Dakota Department of Tourism, and they are going to provide that $110,000 based on our match plus a little bit more in order to get a huge promotion in place for Sioux Falls. It will be a promotion that we have never done before, and we will target those groups that have, those groups and individuals, families, etc., in markets that we have not done before. Again, going after new business. And then right on down through that line, some smaller items, the co-ops with the South Dakota Department of Tourism. That involves several different ad campaigns with the South Dakota Department of Tourism. Our visitor guides, visitor center, and we've got a little in there for miscellaneous. And then under host city program, visitor info kiosks, $29,000. That money is there so that we are able to continue pushing for a visitor center kiosk in the airport, which is something we've been working on now for a couple of years, and we're gonna get it done. Also, we're hopeful that with the new event center, that somehow a combination of the event center, arena, convention center will be able to have some sort of kiosk out there that will service any and all events in any of the buildings. And then, of course, we're talking very preliminarily with the Sanford Sports Complex to perhaps have some sort of a kiosk there with our visitor guides, et cetera. So the $29,000 we think will get us started with those three for next year. That brings us down to $1,723,000, and you can see with our income of our partners on the travel publications and the new opportunities, it takes us from the 1,600 to 1,723 for this next year. We focus, I want this to be very clearly understood, we focus on bringing in new and additional business to Sioux Falls. That's what the bid was created for. And you know, the hotels that are on the bid board, plus the other hotels, and Jim being on the bid board, we spend a lot of time at our board meetings discussing, you know, what we've been doing, how we've been doing it, what we're looking at for the future, and et cetera. So every single dollar that is in this bid budget must be approved by the bid board before it is spent. That is the way it was set up. That is the way we have processed it. And until I'm told otherwise by this body or someone else, that is how we will continue to function. Very quickly, I would like to just, I didn't bring the whole stack like I did last year. But I'd like to pass around just a couple examples of some of the ads so you can see the level of advertising that we're doing now. One example that I'm really proud of, and Krista Orsak, our Director of Marketing, does a great job along with Betsy, who's our creative. This is something in the 2013 Top 100 Events. We would have never been able to do anything like this prior to the bid. And this is the kind of thing that grabs people. Another one that we're really proud of, this is Successful Meetings, another national publication. And you open it up, and here's an insert on Sioux Falls, South Dakota, that we think is pretty darn beautiful. And has, you know, and we've been able to track the return on these. So I'm just going to pass these around. Regarding the event center, the minute that vote was taken, we started announcing it to the world that the event center passed and it would be built. And this sheet is an example of one of the ads, one of several ads that we have placed promoting the event center and letting the world know that it's coming. I could babble all day, you guys know that. You've heard me babble about this so many times. Would you like me to report more, or would you like to ask questions?
I think, Terry, I think it was a good presentation here, and with that, I will entertain any questions that the council might have for Terry. Yes, please.
Me?
Please.
Okay, thank
Rex.
you. Couple of things, Terry. You talked about being all over the country. I got a note, or I got a call from one of my former compadres out at Midland National, who said that one of the people that we work with in Beaufort, North Carolina, it was we were featured in their newspaper, their local newspaper, about how well Sioux Falls is doing. I don't know if anybody had gotten that, but it did have something to do, you know, Sioux Falls here in North Carolina again. And so that was really nice. Maybe we can get a hold of that or something.
You know what's extra nice about that is that we get so many pheasant hunters from North Carolina. That just kind of adds to that a little bit. Good.
Couple of things. Are we going to be able to go back to the mall with a kiosk at all? Are we trying to do that?
Well, they have come back now and talked with us again about opportunities. And as they complete their renovation in the mall, we will be talking more.
Good. That would be a real
Yes.
help, I think, because there is a big,
Yes.
you know, that's the #1 attraction in the state of South Dakota.
Yes.
And to have that would be very helpful. And I like what you said about this new opportunities, this thing here with matching the money. We would never be able to do that. You know, I served on your board, and there is no way we would be able to do that without this money, to get that extra $110,000. That would just, that's just money from heaven, basically.
Yeah, it is.
To
It
promote
is.
Sioux Falls.
And, you know, we've watched other communities do their investments with the matching funds for years, and we've never been able to do it, and now we can.
Good. One thing I did notice is, now, your new digs down there,
Yes,
no money from here?
not 1 cent.
There's no money in this budget at all for that kind of thing?
Absolutely not. It all came out of the other side of the budget,
The other side of the budget being
the room tax.
the room tax?
Correct.
So this money is not used for any improvements in your office or
Oh, no.
any other kind of thing?
No, we can't.
Can you explain that to me a little bit?
Well, yes, the bid money is for sales and promotion, marketing and promotion of the City of Sioux Falls. That's the way it was designed and delivered. Jim Entenman, Tom Bosch, and Craig Pomeranke went out and beat the pavement to every hotel in this town, giving them their word that this money was for marketing and promotion of the City of Sioux Falls to bring in new business. So, no, we can't use it on a building. We would have been
Your
strung up.
building and your operations money is from the 1 cent sales tax, or 1 cent, not entertainment, the
Room tax.
room tax.
Yes, yes.
And that's what pays for pencils and paper and that kind of thing?
Correct.
And, okay, that makes sense.
No, nothing for the building.
Okay, this is all marketing and...
Yes, sir.
And trying to get people into Sioux Falls.
Yes.
To spend money.
Yes.
And not on brick and mortar.
No,
Okay.
no.
Thank you.
We can't.
Councilor Erpenbach.
I just want to dovetail on that just a little bit. And I think the thing that's been really great about this bid tax is that it's also those folks that are using the facilities. Those folks that are coming into town, and those of us that might be taking a staycation and staying in town, that's the money that we're using then to super duper market for
Yes.
Sioux Falls. And I'm looking at these ads that are coming by, Terry, and they're amazing. I mean, it's just, I mean, we all know, we live here and we go downtown and we do the thing and we like this. It's so cool to see these ads and to know that other folks are learning that about Sioux Falls as well. And this, to me, this is an investment well spent, and I'm just really pleased with what you guys are doing with it. Thank you for your stewardship of it, and thanks for being so creative with it.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Councilor Jameson, please.
Yes, Terry, thanks for being here. The kiosk out at the airport, is that a interactive, kind of a media-driven, or is it a...
We don't know what it is yet. We have no idea. We're hoping that it will, at minimum, be a television that somebody can touch and get all the information, and it will stream all the time, all kinds of information about Sioux Falls. You know, way back a year or 2 years ago, we had hoped it would be a kiosk. And now with the redo out at the airport, it doesn't appear that that's going to happen at all. So we have been out and we've talked to Dan, we've walked around and looked at wall space and et cetera, and we don't know yet.
Okay, well,
Whatever they allow us to do.
okay, I think you're pressing in the right direction for an interactive kind of a media, video-driven kiosk and not just a static
Correct.
display. I was recently in Minneapolis at an event, and we stayed at a hotel that had an interactive kiosk. And I should have taken some pictures or done something, but it was perfect for us in Sioux Falls. I'll be back there, and I'll get that, and
Take
I'll
that
get it
picture,
to you.
please. Okay.
But I think it could be a big tool for us.
It would be great. And you know what? Not only in the airport, but I could see it in, you know, some other businesses around town that are high-traffic businesses. I think it would be quite appropriate.
Right, where I saw this kiosk was actually in a hotel lobby.
And some of our hotels have what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yes, some of our hotels do.
I'll have to do a stay vacation here.
Staycation.
Staycation.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Anderson, please.
Okay. Terry, you have your publications and that you deliver all over the area. How do you get those publications delivered?
Do you see all these fine people sitting back here smiling right now? They don't smile when they're delivering. Well, they do when they get there, but it's not their favorite thing to do. We've had a high school, a young man from high school help us at one time, and now he's back in high school and not able to help us. So these strong backs do it. I mean, we get 250,000 visitor guides out, and they're out all the time. And like this year, I think we're going to run out.
So I take it you're doing them in your personal vehicles?
Correct.
Okay, that was just something that I remember that
Yes,
I'd
and
like to
everything
see get
about
resolved.
yes, and everything, all delivery with the visitor center, all of the merchandise and everything is done by one of our staff's personal vehicles. Yes.
Yeah. That's,
Anything else?
oh, one other question. A couple weeks ago during one of our work sessions, there was a discussion about the trolleys that we have. And one of the partners that came up in the discussion of maybe taking over the trolley system during the summer was the CVB. If you've heard about this before, nothing to try to tie you down on it or anything, what do you think is there any interest at all from the CVB in looking into this?
Well, first of all, you know, we believe that the trolley is a very important part of our downtown. People love it. It's a, you know, people identify downtown with the fact that we have a trolley. And, you know, you can jump on that trolley and you can ride to the falls and back up to the stores and have lunch or this or that. Yes, I was in a discussion about the possibilities. And I don't see us being an organization that would take on the trolley. We're really not skilled in transportation. and in maintenance, et cetera, et cetera. With that said, we hope that it continues, and we're here to do the sales and promotion of that trolley, just like we are every other facility and attraction event in Sioux Falls. But
Thank you.
I wasn't trained in transportation. I don't know if any of these guys were either, but
Thank you.
thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Terry.
Thank you all
Thank you
very
very
much. We appreciate your support. Thank you.
Great presentation, and I think the purpose of this, there will be a resolution coming forward at the next council meeting to approve the bid budget. Also, I had just a quick note here that we are not having a work session that was originally scheduled for tomorrow at 3 o'clock. I did ask councilors if there was anything they specifically wanted covered during the work session. I had no input. So at this point in time, I have canceled the work session tomorrow. However, we do have another opportunity next week. So again, if you are interested, if you would like another work session to have any of the directors or any departments come forward with any additional information, please let me know, and I will work with staff to get that scheduled. Probably we would schedule that on Thursday of next week at 3 o'clock if we were to do it. That would be my plan.
Thursday the 5th?
If we were to have one, if there's a need for one, I would like to do it Thursday the 5th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Is there anything else to come before this council at this time? That's what I'm asking. Yes.
Yes.
Councilor Staggers, please.
Yes.
No, you can't speak, Kermit.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
Thank you very much for allowing me to speak. A week ago, my wife and I got back from Moore, Oklahoma. We had gone down there at our own expense to take a look at the destruction that had taken place with the May 20th tornado down there. And so we were down there and we took a lot of pictures. And I was just wondering if I could have permission to maybe give a short presentation next Tuesday during the informational.
Sure.
Okay.
We can get that worked in. We'll get that scheduled in there.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You bet. Is there any other item to come before the council? Open discussion, anybody? There being nothing else, I am going to remind everybody that we do have a joint council Minnehaha County meeting. It will start at 5 o'clock. That being said, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.